Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be spending some time on the EM Test UCS 250. This automotive transient generator provides capabilities for many different testing requirements, including those of ISO 7637-2, pulses 1, 2A, 3A, and 3B. It has a built-in coupling decoupling network of up to 80 volts, 50 amps. We'll begin the video by going over a little bit about the unit, then we'll move to the connections in the front and the back, and finally we'll go ahead and we'll start up the system and take a look at the ISO.control software. The EM Test UCS 250 is designed to meet ISO, SAE, and many OEM fast transient requirements, and it can be integrated with other systems to provide a more complete test solution. The UCS 250 can be operated from the front panel, however, it's typically controlled via the ISO.control software. If you're renting the UCS 200N from us here at Transient Specialists, we're going to include a laptop with the ISO.control software installed. Let's go ahead now and let's start by taking a look at the front of the UCS 200N. Here you'll find the front of the EM Test UCS 250. Let's go ahead and let's start from the left and let's work our way right. On the left side we have the display. Just below that we have a series of function keys. And then in the lower left hand corner we have our yellow test on button. As we work our way right, we have our turnstile knob, and below that our cursor keys and our exit and escape buttons. Just to the right of that, we have our oscilloscope trigger and then our earth connection. Just above that, we have our HV pulse output, which is commonly used to connect to a capacitive coupling clamp or injection probe for ISO 7637-3 testing. Next to that, we have a series of LED indicators. And then finally, in the lower right-hand corner, we have the device under test supply. Let's go ahead now, let's get the unit turned around and take a look at the back of the system. Here's the back of the UCS 250. Let's go ahead and let's start from the left and let's work our way right. In the lower left-hand corner, we have the reference earth connection. And then just to the right of that, we have our control input for external generators. Above that, we have the DUT test supply input, aux pulse input, which is typically going to be from the LD200N, and then our external impedance connections. As we work our way right, we have our external trigger, and then just next to that, we have our fuses, off-on switch, as well as our mains connection. Below that, we have our safety circuit and the jumper is in place. Finally, all the way on the right, we have the USB and GPIB connections, and then next to that, our remote control connector and fail inputs. Let's go ahead now, let's get the system powered up and take a look at the software. All right, now we're looking at the ISO.control software. All we've done is we've connected our computer to our UCS 200N with our USB cable. If you are renting the system from us, the software is already going to be configured with the criteria and communication for the UCS 200N entered, so all you'll have to do is turn it on and power up the system. All right, so taking a look at our ISO.control software now, along the top we have setup, standards, extras, and help. Just below that, we have icons for standard mode, and then to the right of that, device mode. If we take a look now in our device mode menu, we have our device, the UCS 250, and then just to the right of that, a series of the most common pulses. Taking a look now in the lower right-hand corner, we have the UCS icon shown here, which just indicates that our software is communicating with our UCS 250. Let's go ahead now and let's load a test. To do that, go to standard mode. And we're to go ahead and we're going to load the standards test. All right, so taking a look now, under automotive tests, we have international and manufacturer. We're interested in international, so let's hit that plus right there next to that. And let's take a look at the ISO. All right, and as you can see right here, we have ISO 7637-2. And let's go ahead and take a look at the 2011 version. And you can select here for the 12 volt or 24 volt systems. We're just going to go ahead and keep it at 12. All right, so as you can see now along the top, we have ISO 7637-2 listed. And then we have the two applications for 12 and 24 volts and our pulses on the right. As you can see, we have pulse 1, 2A, 3A, and 3B kind of darker, and we have 2B is kind of grayed out. That's just indicating that the system right now cannot run pulse 2B with our UCS 250, but it can run the remaining pulses. Let's go ahead now. Let's click on pulse 1. All right, so taking a look at our pulse right now, we have the standard along the top for ISO 7637-2, and then pulse 1. We have our criteria along the left, some different levels along the right, and then a graphic display in the middle. All right, so that should complete a little overview. Let's go ahead now and let's spend some time changing some criteria quickly and take a look at the report. All right, so now we're looking at pulse 1 in our ISO.control software. And you can see right now we have level 2 selected. What you will notice on the left, we are limited in the different criteria we can change, given that it does have to conform to ISO 7637-2. However, if we do want to customize some of the different testing criteria, we can select special, kind of located on the right side of the screen right now. Let's go ahead and let's do that. Now taking a look, we do have options to change some of the different criteria on the left. Let's go ahead now. Let's change that 150 volts to 120. To do that, click the value and then hit delete. And then we're just going to add 120. We're going to hit enter. All right. And you can see right there, it is showing us what ranges are available. Let's go ahead now. Let's change the events in the lower right corner from 50 to 100. And then we're going to hit enter again. And just like that, you can see the ranges shown as well there. Taking a look now, right above the start button, you can see the approximate test time at 50 seconds. Let's go ahead now. Let's hit the start button. Let's let the test run. All right, so as you can see, our test was just completed, and we do have a pop-up where we can add some test results. We're just going to put DUT right there, just have something entered, and then we're going to hit save. All right, and we can save that again, DUT 12, and hit save. All right, so now we can enter some report information, and it's going to already have some of the different information about the test entered here. And then we're to go ahead now, we're just going to hit view report. All right, so here is our test report, and if we zoom in slightly, you can see we do have the report number, the test, and then some of the different information there, as well as the notes we entered. All right, that should complete the video today on the EM test UCS 250. We began the video by talking a little bit about the system, then we moved to the different connections in the front and the back, and then finally we spent some time on the software, running a test, and taking a look at the test report. We hope this video has been useful, and please keep us in mind if you ever need to rent the EM test UCS 250.